This is Linked, where we connect filmmaking to life. I'm your host, Chris Cashin, and today we talk to the Jack and Carmen of all trades, Evan Harris. We're back with Evan Harris.
Hi, how you doing?
How's it going, man?
Chris Cashin.
Yes. Thank you so much for being here. What's your shirt say?
Something about rum. I don't know. I was drunk when I put it on.
Hey, that's my t-shirt.
I don't have yet.
Not anymore. You played Grant Knight on Iguana Man. Tell us about that character.
No, but so he's been sprinkled throughout the first season and may show up in later seasons. I don't know because I'm not writing the thing. But that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and in episode 5, although we don't want to spoil it or anything, there's some interesting things that happened in episode 5.
He might be in episode 5. I don't know.
Oh, we're being that way. You don't know if he's in episode 5 or not.
Spoilers?
What do you think his backstory is?
That's a good question. Because, again, it's one of those things I don't know how much we can go into without giving anything away.
Mm-hmm.
I will just say that he has secrets.
Okay.
That the viewer will be informed of later, and that plays directly into his backstory. But if I were to invent a backstory as an actor, I would say that he was birthed to this world by Thor, God of Thunder.
Of course. Well, how did you get into acting and filmmaking?
I've been acting since 95, 96, and really it was just...
I was 12. Wait, was that an age joke? Sorry.
The first play I ever did, it was actually a friend of mine. It was right after I graduated high school, and a friend of mine was going to audition for it, and she asked me to come along, and I got cast as an understudy. It was the Warehouse Theater's production of The Foreigner, which is a show I've done 3 times in 3 different roles now. And originally I was cast as an understudy for a part I later got to play, and in the actual play, I was pretty much just an extra. You couldn't even see my face, didn't have any lines. But the experience was great. I wasn't sure if I'd do it again, but I took a shot and did it again at the Children's Theater. Got cast in a pretty good part, and that's where I met Wofford, Shane Williman, a bunch of other guys. And ever since then,
Wofford wins again as being the one who's met first.
Actually, I met Shane first.
Of course, that makes sense. I mean,
I met Shane first.
Oh, you met Shane first?
Shane Williman first.
Of the three.
Of the three.
Oh, the 3 you guys in here. Oh, yeah, years ago.
Oh, yeah.
You were probably 9 at the time.
Yeah, I was.
I don't know how, but you've been progressing in age.
I was a wee little babe.
So mainly it was just theater and stuff, and then all of a sudden I had just friends that would go, "Hey, I'm filming this. Do you want to be a part of it?"
Yep.
And that's basically how Iguana Man happened. And he said, "Hey, we got a part that you might be good at. Let's." And it was a drunk vagrant, so I was like, "Yeah, I could play that."
Out of acting or filmmaking and theater, which one do you like more?
I love them both, but for me, film ends up usually being more about the finished product, which is always great to see.
Yeah.
My heart's more in theater just because I like the process there. Because, a lot of people, and this is no insult to filmmakers at all, but it is more of a director-editor medium. And
it is.
I like the process of theater is just closer to my heart. The rehearsals and how you get to sort of start in one place and evolve a character into another in real time in front of an audience. That's the other thing, is you get that audience reaction.
Feedback.
But there is a really awesome thing about seeing the process on film come together. And if I were more of a behind the camera person, I might prefer film, I don't know. But editing,
all the other stuff.
I mean, and this is actually too almost an apology. If you ever watch the bloopers in Halloween Night at Lodge 20, it looks like I'm miserable. But that's mainly because I was just really sleepy.
Yeah, it was probably, 3 or 4 in the morning or something like that.
Yeah, we finished shooting that at 7?
It was 6 a.m. It was 6 a.m. when we finished, and we started right at sundown.
Yeah.
We literally finished the last take. I said this in one of the other interviews, and the sun went. You kind of talked about how you met Wofford, I guess, from Third My Team. How did you meet the rest of us, though? How did you get involved with
theater? I think everybody in this room I met through theater, because you guys all got into I had been doing shows, and then I met Shane, and then Wofford started doing shows not long after that, and we met, and then started doing a lot of shows at Little Theater, which is where I think I met both of you guys. I had taken a break from theater for a long time, and came back, and you were in the first main stage show I did back at the Little Theater, and that's how we met.
Dracula?
Appointment with Death.
Oh, Appointment with Death.
1776. That's where we met.
That's what
Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
That has become my favorite musical, actually.
Mine too.
I love it. It's the best.
But you have been on the Guanaman set.
Mhm.
You have any idea, or even on another set, I guess? Have you had any funny stories that have happened?
Oh boy, I'm trying
Crazy
to think.
bloopers.
The teeth falling out in in Halloween at Lodge 20 was pretty funny.
I lost my raisin or whatever.
Yeah,
it
I
was.
can't
Some kind of
remember.
little black thing
Yeah,
or
little
some
black
sort.
thingies on my teeth. So I'm in character.
Wimp. I just blew my.
So what other projects are you working on?
Well, I've got a couple of things. Jason Underwood and I have a podcast called the Bearded Ones Podcast. We've been doing it for 3 years. We're coming up on our 100th episode out there, people, so get on board. And you can Google Bearded Ones Podcast, but it's really just me and Jason and sometimes guests that just sort of talk about anything and everything. And since Jason and I are both improvisers, we tend to jump into improvised. If I say the word skits, Jason will kill me because he hates that word.
Say
So
it.
I will say sketches.
Say it.
I will say
Say
sketches. That way,
Skits.
he can't complain.
Skits.
Sketches. Which also sounds like a disease that you might get if you were on a sailboat.
Yeah.
But, so there's that.
You got bearded,
And if
yeah,
you
bearded ones.
Google Bearded Ones Podcast. We have a YouTube page. You can email us, beardedonespodcast@gmail.com. We prefer people to listen through Stitcher, but we're on a lot of platforms. But download the Stitcher app if you like podcasts, because it's free and it's got a ton of great ones on there. Also, I'm lucky enough to be the co-writer and an actor in a new web series called The First 5 Years that was started by Phyllis and Josh Jackson. They asked me to come in and write. I've helped write half of the episodes that are in the first season. The first season just came out, www.jackandcarmen.com.
Okay. Down there on the bottom.
Yeah,
Right here.
yeah.
You can't see it yet. It'll be there. Can they follow you on Twitter,
Oh yeah.
or
We
Facebook?
have a Twitter. We have a Bearded Ones Podcast at Bearded Ones Podcast on Twitter, so they can follow that. That's basically my personal Twitter.
Okay.
We have a Facebook page. First 5 Years also has a Facebook page.
Okay.
So if you enter First 5 Years, it's not the First 5 Years Fund, although you should donate to that as well because that helps children with autism. And we always want to do that.
Absolutely. Anything else that you're working on that's coming up? Because those things are things that you're currently doing or you've already
Yes,
released.
and not right at the moment. I mean, we are gonna start thinking about season 2 of the web series, jackandcarmen.com, very soon, and so we're gonna be writing that, and that takes writing. It's a lot more work than I thought it was, but
It is.
again,
It is.
the real work in film happens behind the scenes, guys.
'Cause you-
So read
yeah.
those credits in the movies.
Yeah. I do have some other questions we didn't tell you.
Oh yay!
Lizard keeps it. Iggy
Oh.
keeps it. These are different kinds of questions. What's the weirdest thing you bought at Goodwill?
Halloween, I went as the Mad Hatter from Tim Burton's Alice in Wonderland. No, the year before, excuse me.
Mhm.
And so I was at Goodwill with my friends Katie King and Meg Foster because we were all going to go as one big group. And I found what I thought was like the perfect purple jacket that the Mad Hatter could wear.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so excited. It fit me beautifully. And then I take it to Katie and I'm like, Katie, look, this is perfect and it's very affordable. She's like, oh, it's great. It was a woman's coat. I didn't know that.
Favorite comedian?
Gosh. I mean, the first person jumps into my head is Dave Chappelle.
How about favorite movie?
Dawn of the Dead, the original.
Favorite actor?
Daniel Day-Lewis.
Favorite actress?
Kate Winslet.
So now we've got some. These are a little bit different.
Yay.
They're called Crazy Ponders.
Okay.
Okay. So tell me, Evan,
Mhm.
why are there no B batteries?
It turns out that the people that created the batteries, the battery companies and the battery sizes, there were two camps. I wrote a paper about this in college, so I actually know the answer.
Is
There were two
your
camps.
college dissertation?
Mhm.
Okay.
There were two camps back in the 60s, both misogynist, all men. And some of them preferred really tiny breasts, and some of them preferred larger breasts, and they could never find a middle ground. There was like one guy who was like, I like B cups.
Tell me this. How would you handcuff a one-armed man?
I'd probably put the one cuff on his arm really hard and the other cuff on the back of a subway train because I am judge, jury, and executioner in my world.
Wow. If an ambulance is on its way to save somebody
Mhm.
and it hits somebody,
Mhm.
who do they save?
Who did they hit?
Did-
Who are they going to save and who did they hit? That's the first question.
Well,
I would
for-
stop the ambulance after they hit the person. And even though they were saying, no, we've got to go save this other person, I was like, no, we have to answer a fundamental question. First, who are you going to save and who did you hit? I would actually stop them from saving the guy that they hit to get them to answer that question. And then I would be able to answer your question. And in my world, both of them would die.
Why do they call him Donkey Kong if he isn't really a donkey?
Well, that's interesting. Again, I wrote my second college dissertation on this. Donkey in Latin, actually in its original Latin form, is actually a slur on Italians. So the game started, and why do you think they had Mario fighting Donkey Kong in the original one?
Mm. What do you call male ballerinas?
My friends.
What's another word for thesaurus?
I would say Brontosaurus.
Well, thanks so much for being here, Evan.
No, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Appreciate you being here, and you're going to get to see him a lot more in Iguana Man.
Are we? I haven't seen the second season scripts yet.
But episode 5 is coming soon as well, so we'll see you soon. Thanks so much, Evan. Be sure to subscribe to us, follow us on Facebook and Twitter. You can also follow me at Chris Cashin, and we'll see you next week. Thanks so much, Evan. We appreciate it. Be sure to subscribe.
Thank you for coming, Mr.
Mr.
Bond.
Bond.
Make sure to go to www.jackandcarmen.com, or I will take over the world.